Thanks for joining us today. Today, I have a special guest. He is the chairman. I'll let him introduce himself to you. All right, Steve, can you tell us about yourself?
Sure. My name's Steve Milliet or Millet, whichever way is easier. I'm from South Louisiana. I'm the chairman for the International Chinese Boxing Association. I've been involved in Chinese martial arts predominantly since I was 16, so I don't do public math, but I'm 54 now, so 30 something. We'll just say that. Started off just as an intro briefly. Started off studying Southern Chinese boxing with great grandmaster David M. Grego Sr. in Louisiana when he lived there. Studied Yip Man version of Hong Kong Wing Chun and also the Wing Pai family boxing. Completed those systems with him. We parted. He went to Dallas. I moved on to the Navy. Over the next several years, I studied various arts, focusing on one at a time till either I didn't feel like I was getting anything else or moved on. So I studied Southern Five Animal Shaolin, Kempo, Tang Sudo, Kali, Pakiti Tercia to be exact. And I was a 15-year disciple of someone learning Yin Keisan Wing Chun. There's not many of us in the U.S., but I am one of them. And then, as I said, I am the chairman for the International Chinese Boxing Association, which was established in 1975 by great grandmaster David Greco. And last year was asked to take the helm as chairman while he retired.
That's incredible, man. So, for the listeners who may not know what Wing Chun is, I mean, most of us that do, we've been a fan probably because of Bruce Lee, but can you explain to the listeners what Wing Chun is?
Sure. So Wing Chun is a Southern Chinese boxing system. And in China, boxing means anything with the hand or feet. Unlike in Western boxing, it's just your dukes, right? So Wing Chun is a close quarter combat system. Short, compact structure, narrow stances. Most kicks don't go above the diaphragm, even though they're capable of doing that. Everything is diaphragm down on legs, lots of trapping. Sticky hands is part of that, which is when you're joined and bridging with someone, how to feel their pressure, manipulate the angles and geometry. And to your point, it is what Bruce Lee's first or mother art was before he developed Jeet Kune Do.
Nice. And thank you for your service. You said you were in the Navy?
Yes, sir. I'm an officer in the Navy as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
So, when you first started martial arts compared to now, how's it changed over the years?
Man, I'm going to date myself now. So I started when I was 16. So that would have been around 88 or so. And it was, again, with Master Grego. Back then, it was different, at least for my classes. We didn't wear pads. We kept everything off the face and at the hips or above. And we would literally compare contusions after class to see who got who the best. So it was a lot more, and I say that tongue in cheek, not taking away from MMA or kickboxing or any of those, or Sambo, sports Sambo or anything like that. But in your general traditional martial arts training back then was very much, I would say, blood, sweat, and tears to a degree, depending on your instructor. In fact, I was conditioned early on that, this is going to sound so jaded, but it's not meant to be. It just shows I was narrow-minded and a child. If I didn't walk into a school after I had trained with my Sifu and it didn't smell like sweat and ass, I assumed it was like a YMCA, Bally's, or what is it? Was it called Bally's Spa or something like that in California?
Yeah.
But some, I've learned better since then.
So early on, man, what was some of your biggest influences?
Wow. I'd be lying if I said it was Bruce Lee, because I didn't even know who Bruce Lee was. I was about probably 6 or 7. And a friend of mine across the street, we'd go over there, and he was watching like Kung Fu Theater, Black Belt Theater, or something, Chop Socky movies. But the first movie I can say that I saw with probably, unless you're ancient like me, you won't even remember it. And it was such like a CD movie that I probably saw on TV when I was a kid, called Kill or Be Killed, I think it was called. And then after that, it was No Retreat, No Surrender. But between that, I was watching Bruce Lee movies and Black Belt Theater on Saturdays, Kung Fu Theater on Sundays. And that's what kept my passion and motivation going. But Bruce Lee was definitely an inspiration once I learned
Yeah.
it. Yeah, he's actually the reason I found Wing Chun.
Yeah. So, like, how did you get involved in Wing Chun? Like, I don't know how it is down there, but at least where I live, there's no places around because I tried 2 years ago, but couldn't
Yeah.
find any.
So I'll even say the town. I grew up in Slidell, Louisiana, which is right across the lake north side of New Orleans. And growing up there, we were a small town, maybe small city at best. I think we became a city when I was 17. And I always make the joke, we were martial arts poor. We had Taekwondo. We had one Taekwondo school, one Tang Sudo school, and there was a Kung Fu school there of Lung Shu Pai. But I never could get into it. My parents worked very hard, didn't have a lot of money. They had 4 kids. It was until I started working for myself that I was able to go and take actual instruction. Up until that point, I was getting my hands on every book and magazine, watching movies, trying to pick out what's trash and what's not real and all that stuff. So I'd like poor man's self teaching, right? Um, but how I found Wing Chun was blessing, grace of God, accident, however you want to say it. I was driving down one of the streets, which I'll just throw it out there, is Pontchartrain Boulevard. I was driving that way into town. I don't remember why. Going past this old shopping center, which was where the Taekwondo place was on the other side. And I saw a banner in a window that said, Master Grago's Combined Wing Chun. And I was, this is like, a normal street, 45 miles. I dang near locked the brakes up on my 79 Chevy Monza. Locked them up, spun in there, was looking in the windows, left him a couple messages on the answering machine because that's how it worked back then. 2 weeks later, he called me back, went in for a trial, which was an amazing first experience. And that's kind of how I started off.
Nice, nice. So there's a lot of emphasis on structure, center line, and
Mhm.
the economy of movement and sensitivity. Which of those concepts do you consider most important?
If your structure's not right, nothing you do is going to matter. Your bridge will be weak, your power will be weak, and you'll be folded inward, if you will. So structure is always first, and then of course center line, or I should say center of balance. And then if those are right, anything you do, no matter how exact the technique's going to be, will be much more viable than if those other two aren't there. So you have to have structure first, because if your foundation is weak, nothing you do is gonna be is not gonna achieve the goals that you're looking for.
What's the biggest misconception of Wing Chun?
They can't fight, or they think, and this I would say, this kind of goes back to your question about what's changed in martial arts a lot. And this is not a slight on Wing Chun at all, but there's different schools of thought, just like within Tang Sudo or Taekwondo, depending on your organization or which lineage line you're following. There's different influences, different focuses,
Yeah.
different ways that and they basically execute a technique, if you will. Sometimes Wing Chun's no different. As I said, I studied the Hong Kong Wing Chun, and then I studied the mainland Yin Kei San Wing Chun. And I would say that, oh, I apologize to you. I've lost track of where your question was.
You're good, brother.
What was your question?
I was talking about the center line and the economy of movement and Wing Chun, like the
Yeah.
philosophy.
Yeah, what are people's biggest misconception is they can't fight. So most people think when they see lots of Chisao on like YouTube or in person or whenever two Wing Chun people meet each other, like, hey, let's Chisao. Um, while Chisao, and this is my personal perspective, while Chisao is vital and important to your progression as you train, it is not the platform that is fighting.
Yeah,
That is not fighting. That's a test of skill and sensitivity and balance amongst Wing Chun people. It is not how we fight. So a lot of people see all of this
yeah.
and they think that's fighting, when it's by far, no stretch of the imagination, totally the opposite. It's a training progression tool so that when you get in a clinch, you're already cognizant of pressures and angles and such, so you can take the best advantage you can to gain the upper hand.
From my experience, it comes down to the practitioner instead of the style itself. But like how you were talking about the people that there's people on YouTube that don't know what they're doing, and they'll say they know the style, and they'll just be doing some weird stuff, you know. So
No, that's true. I mean, even when and this is not a slight, like I said, I don't talk ill of people. I just share experiences. And some of my experiences was I was actually met another Wing Chun person in Mississippi once, and we were getting together. I meet everybody. I'm not looking for a challenge. I'm looking to make friends,
yeah,
right? Because we should all be one family anyway, regardless of style, what country it came from. We all came from a source similar or the same. So I met with him. He's like, "Hey, you want to spar?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's play." And he does this, and I'm like, now I was deep in Yin San at the time, and I'm like, "We're gonna look Sao, we're gonna Poon Sao, we're gonna roll. What are we doing?" He's like, "No, we're gonna fight." I'm like, "This ain't fighting. Dukes is fighting." So, and I agree with what you said. It's always the practitioner. Now, granted, the coach, instructor, Sifu, sensei. So your teacher's vital because that's the seed for you, but you have to do all the work. You know what I mean? If you don't do your homework and you don't do your training, no matter how good your instructor is, you're going to suck. So you literally get what you put in out of it. But without that teacher guiding you, you could end up on a far off path. So I totally agree with what you said. It's always the individual, provided they have a good seed and good foundation.
yeah, absolutely, man, 100%. So how did you get involved into the boxing association that you're part of?
So I'll just call it ICBA, International Chinese Boxing Association, because it's just shorter syllables. but, but let's see. So me and Dave Drago departed around 91. I think it was 91. And he went to Dallas to work for Xerox, some director position. And I went back into my aimless little South Louisiana, figuring out what my life's going to look like. And I joined the Navy. Um, Fast forward, let's see, joined the Navy in 92, got out in 96, went to the reserves, then went to the civilian career as well, for a while. It was about 2000, 2001. I was deep into my Yin San training, and I came across him on the internet because it was like, ooh, the internet. All this information at my fingertips. So I was searching stuff like I was looking at Steve Spry's Kempo that he had his series on, and I was just like waterboarding myself with martial arts on the internet. And I found International Chinese Box Association. Chairman is David Grego, and I'm like, that's my Sifu I lost touch with. So I sent him an email, and we reconnected, and we talked for several months. And he said, "Hey, look, I don't have anybody in Louisiana, Mississippi area. Would you want to be a state director helping us gain membership and get the word out, be an ambassador?" And that's kind of how it started off.
That's awesome, man. Especially that you got to meet your get back in touch with your old instructor.
Yeah, because essentially he was my first teacher ever. So it's a special place in your heart after a while.
Yeah. So the rank structure and Wing Chun, can you explain that? Because I'm used to the Korean and Japanese style.
Yeah. So it's very, very instructor specific. Like if I was to say, like in China now, they have a Duan system, which is like Dan ranking that they've implemented in the nation, but not everybody follows it because the Chinese martial arts traditionally are very familial based. I mean, Sifu means teacher father. Qigong means basically teacher grandfather. When although it's interpreted as grandmaster because of grandfather, so you can see how the hierarchy works. Um, it's like I've got a Tuan ranking that I don't even refer to much because it's a new thing in Chinese martial arts as a whole. Some don't even use ranks. Some don't ish. Like for example, I got a letter for my Yin San training when at the very end, just saying, "Hey, you got my blessing to go teach." A lot of the traditional Sifu, they don't give sashes, they don't give belts, they don't give certificates. If you're lucky, you get a letter, and that so there's no standard. Is my point. Some do it by training levels because there's technically four empty hand forms. You got Silum Tao, Chum Q, BOG, and Mukyum Jong, the dummy. So some give certificates after you've completed each level. Some don't even do that. Some give you sashes. Some do both. There's no standard.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Like I've taken wushu, but it's been years ago, and I maybe 3 months, but it was weird because you had no sash, black sash, and red sash, and I'm like, well, that's completely different than what I was used to. You know?
Yeah. I use a sash system when I'm teaching loosely, I will say. Like, you've got to get through a lot of material before I give you even a gold sash or yellow sash. But it's yellow, green, brown, black. Just to
Okay.
keep it simple. It kind of marries up to the training blocks, if you will. There's a lot to digest and dissect.
I'm sure, man. So like with us and traditional Japanese karate too, we have forms. They have kata. What do you guys do?
So the traditional Wing Chun curriculum is technically four empty hand forms, depending on the branch of Wing Chun. But they all have Silen Bao. Well, not all. I digress. Gulao does not have it, or they do now. It's weird. I don't understand enough about it to speak to that family branch, but typically you'll have Silen Bao, Chum Q, BOG, Mukyeon Jong. You'll have the 6.5 point pole, and you'll have Bachon Dao or Song Dao or whatever that family calls their double knot.
Nice. So you were talking about you were in Tung Sudo and a couple other martial arts. How
Mhm.
was that transitioning from the Chinese boxing style to the martial arts, the other martial arts?
Wing Chun is kind of like its own little animal, but I was familiar enough between blood sport, kickboxer. I was like a Jean Claude Van Damme
Yeah,
guy.
same.
Yeah, No Retreat. All these movies. Even though Wing Chun doesn't throw high kicks traditionally, I was still doing splits, right? Because I just wanted the ability. So when I moved from Wing Chun into Five Animal Shaolin or Southern Five Animal Shaolin under Ed Montgomery in Long Beach, California, um, it, I was already limber enough. I had the fighting piece down, so it was learning the choreography of forms like Tiger and Crane and different things. Moving from that to Kempo, I found Kempo was more alike in terms of fighting for me. So that was an easier transition. And this is not me blowing myself up. When I was a young man, I was just I was I was an easy learner for it for some reason. Like you show me once, twice, maybe three times, I got it.
I get it.
Usually, unless it's something that I just can't physically do, then I have to work to that, and then I get it. The getting to, I'll say this: when I moved from, I also did a stint in Bok Fu Pai as well, but which is White Tiger Kung Fu. But when I went from when I went into Tong Sudo, that was a difference. And then coming out of Tong Sudo was a difference for me too, because we're very relaxed. We have a very relaxed energy. We're not tense, our joints and all that stuff. So we train very hard not to have that, at least in most of the things I did, because of speed and power issuance. But I was like, you know, locking out and doing all these folding things and bridging hard and stuff. And then when I went back to Wing Chun after that, which was when I started Ginkai-san, um, I had to re-loosen everything back up. So that was the biggest adjustment, was not so much the choreography, the techniques or anything, although I had my own spin on it to go, I don't agree with that. I do think there's a better way, but I'm going to do what I'm taught. And then when I'm fighting, I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah. So, how's martial arts affected you outside the dojo? Or
That's something I never really thought much about till lately, since I'm older. Um, you hear people say it all the time. It's a way of life. It helps guide you through life, different things. And I never quite could understand that till the past year or two. And then I realized everything good I ever achieved, besides having help from above and guidance, but everything I've ever achieved was because of martial arts training. Because what martial arts is uniquely gifted at gifting to people, if they apply themselves and allow it, it's even though you're in a class and you got a teacher and you're trying things, you're on an island within yourself to identify, I suck at this. Do I want to keep sucking, or do I want to suck less? Because my motto is always, I wake up every day, I reflect on yesterday, I look ahead to today, and I go, how do I suck less today? Because I'll never be there. I just try to suck less. And it could be a little bit of military stuff thrown in there. I'm not sure, but um, I think martial arts builds that idea in you. If you allow it and you talk to it, it will drive you. Because in martial arts, we have to overcome adversity. We have to learn. We have to identify and make peace with, we suck at something, and only we can fix it, and or recognize when we're really good at it, and persevere through all the efforts to achieve mediocrity at best, or minimum standard, before we can ever achieve awesomeness, right? So I think, looking back in my life, all the civilian career that I had, all the achievements there, getting things done, achievements in the military especially, it's taught me to persevere and to put forth the effort. Don't suck, and don't not be selected for something for lack of doing the work. Do the work, all of it. You find more, do more work. And then it's just a timing issue of, when is it your time? So I think the martial arts has given me that perspective now that I've reflected on it and come to realize it.
yeah, man, absolutely. Same here, honestly. Almost every career I've ever had, I worked. I'm an EMT now, but I used to work for the Division of Corrections. I worked for the Academy. I was their defensive tactics instructor. But every career I've had, I've climbed the ranks, and it's because of martial arts, like having that character asset. And even now, as in the agency I work for, I'm a supervisor. So like, it's
There you
like
go.
it's because you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
have that perseverance. You have
I did a stint in law enforcement as well.
nice.
So I totally understand where you're coming from. If you let it mold you and you work with it, the martial arts, to achieve those levels, to achieve those goals, to achieve the skills, it conditions you here and here.
Yeah, absolutely. So how was Kempo? You said you took Kempo. How was that?
Yeah, I studied Kempo. It was a American slash Chinese Kempo derivative called Lama Kempo,
Okay.
uh, under Sifu Thomas Martin in Long Beach, California. And man, his school was awesome. I walked in, it smelled like ass and feet. I was like, yes, I'm home. I watched class. I'm like, oh, there's blood. I'm good. This was like 92, 93, and loved training there. Loved training there. He is a gifted, exceptional martial artist. Tough as nails, ex-Marine recon. Oh, just awesome. He was just awesome to work with. Wonderful man.
Nice. I know the guy that got us into contact, Master Williams.
Yeah, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon, great guy, man. Teaches Chinese Kempo. He sent me a lot of stuff, a lot of videos I've been watching. I'm like, this stuff is really good. A lot of
Yeah,
throws and
Brandon's understates his capabilities and with the knowledge that he has. I'm trying to bring him out
yeah,
because, And him and I share a very similar passion, which is probably not. It's probably nerdy in some ways, but I don't.
Elvis? He yeah.
The King. Watch this.
Alright.
Bam.
That is awesome.
So
He's a
yeah,
great guy.
he's a good man. Him and I've made good friends lately.
Yeah,
It was a
same.
shame what him and his family have got to go through lately.
Yeah, I know. That's terrible. I'm, well, he sent me a patch. I gotta get it put up. I'm putting up the patch behind me of his son that he had made.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Briar. Yeah,
Yeah, like I
yeah,
said, though, great guy. He is.
he is. He's a good man.
He just opened up his dojo, so people listening, if you're out in Indiana, check him out.
Yep, Thunderbolt Kempo,
Yeah, yeah,
and he got a cool patch too.
they really do. Yeah, it's awesome. So, where's your school at?
Currently, my school is literally nowhere. I just relocated. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas now. I've been here maybe a month or two. Still acclimating to the new position in the Navy that I have. I'll be here for the next 2, 3 years at least.
Yeah,
Um, I've also been trying to. What I didn't mention is with the ICBA, the International Chinese Boxing Association. Since I took over last August, it's kind of been a reboot in a lot of ways. Um, if you don't mind me speaking about that,
no, go ahead, man. It's all yours.
so the ICBA has been around since '75 when it was founded by David Grigo. It was predominantly for traditional, legitimate Chinese martial arts. That was their driver all through the '70s, '80s, and '90s. And him and I talked for great lengths on the phone, few times about, hey, I really like you to take this over. I'm like, I'm in the Navy. I got all this stuff going on. And he's like, well, consider it. So I thought about it. And I said, Dave, if I want to do this for you, I have respect for you, everything you've given to me. But if I do this, I got to do this my way. Because as I mentioned earlier, I see all martial arts as relatives. We're all one family. And we all are striving for the same goals, just do it a different way. And I said, I see the ICBA as one family, all style. Yes, International Chinese Boxing Association automatically implies only Chinese martial arts, but that is not the case. We've got Chinese Kempo, we've got hybrid systems who are members of our association. We have Judo, just to name a couple. Actually, that was three. Um, and so we welcome everybody because we're just trying to create a family association where we can start supporting each other, lifting each other up. To one of the big, they never used to have events. They used to do tournaments. And what I want to do is let's respect and honor each other. Let's lift each other up. So this spring in Fort Worth, Texas, we're going to host the first ever and like inaugural event of the Hall of Honor banquet
Nice.
for anyone that can attend. And those who cannot attend, totally understand. But some people got work, family, they've got health issues, perhaps. But we're going to offer a virtual acknowledgement and attendance where they can accept their nomination, register, and we'll actually package everything up real nice and ship it to them, and just so they can see the appreciation. And that's for members and non-members of our association.
Okay.
So
So whenever the time gets close to that, shoot me the information and I'll help get it out there as much as I can, man.
that'd be wonderful. Yeah, because I'll be honest, this is our first event, and I've got some mentors who've done other things like that in the martial arts who are truly been so generous in giving me information to digest and help make good decisions for everyone. That, but it's our first one, right? So it's like, what do we, let's work the problem. So um, until I see how many people want to attend and all that, I've held off on venue selection, but I've got some selected. I'm just trying to see where we fit the best because I want to give the best experience to the attendees as possible. Because this isn't for the board members. This isn't for me. I don't want anything. I want to get this the satisfaction of watching someone get recognized. That fills my heart. That totally is all I want.
Yeah, I definitely
So,
get that. So if somebody wants to become a member of your organization, how do they go about that?
well, if some people want to know more information first, and I totally understand that. Uh, they can reach us on Messenger. We have a Facebook. Messenger, International Chinese Boxing Association. It'll pop right up. We have a Facebook group where people can chat, do whatever they want. I don't care. It's for open communications, all members and non-members. But if they want to join the association as an official member, go to ICBA-worldwide, one word, .com and click on membership. Or click on shop and just buy your membership you want. We have 3 levels of membership because I want people to have options to be an official member, but whatever they want to contribute to that membership, that's why I have 3 levels. But also, how much do you want out of it? You just want to be a part of us, it's like $15. If you want to be a professional member where we have ebooks on how to structure your school, how to think about liability and liability insurance. They're free ebooks for those levels of membership. How to go from your garage to a studio, step by step. And then we have an executive level membership, which comes with some more benefits that the others don't. But predominantly, it's if you want to be a part of the ICBA on a higher level, you want to contribute, and you want to petition for a board position that fits with your passions and your skills, you can do that with that membership level as well.
Nice. I will link those into the podcast for anybody that's interested. So just check the description.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome, man. Nice, man. So for anybody that's listening, I'm sure they'll have this because we talked about boxing and you were talking about the addition of kicks. Besides that, what are the differences between Chinese boxing and Western boxing?
Rules.
Okay.
Rules are the first one. You know, a Western boxing, typically everything above the waist. But also, and this is the big difference, because this is part of the debate that's been going on for decades. It's conditioning. If you're going to be a pro, some people like to do boxing extracurricular, but not as much as they do traditional martial arts or any martial arts. Boxing, you're doing that for a purpose, usually. Golden gloves, regionals, the belt, right?
Yeah.
There's the only belt there is in martial arts is your belt or your sash, really. I mean, or you get the big 6-foot trophy that, because you did the best form or something. Um, I'd say the biggest difference between the two, for the way I see it, isn't techniques. It isn't. It's a little bit tactics, but it's more the purpose and the conditioning. I mean, a lot of people do martial arts for a social aspect, to move around, to have camaraderie. Some do it because they want to fight. Some do it because they want to compete. I mean, there's many, many reasons why people get involved in traditional martial arts. With boxing, just through the time and decades that it's been around and how it's been publicized and what people know of it, it's for sport and for, blood, sweat, and tears. So it's just the venue, the mindset, and the purpose that I see makes the difference. Really, it's a martial art just like everything else.
Yeah. Like I said, I never had the opportunity to practice Wing Chun. Eventually, hopefully, I'll get to. But I have taken boxing. I did a couple years on that, and coming from Taekwondo to boxing, it was a whole different. It was an eye opener. I wasn't used to being pressured.
Hmm.
All that. So I'm sure in Wing Chun it's the same, like with the pressuring, like constantly on your
Yeah,
opponent. Yeah,
yeah. You want to keep, they'll say, forward pressure or taking the space or bridging the gap. There's different ways and different methodologies to doing it, but you want to keep the pressure on. That's the chain punch thing, and it just keeps the pressure on until you figure out what you're doing next. Uh, and that's one thing that I've come to realize is some people have pre-choreographed, combinations in Wing Chun or whatnot, or certain things they do. Me, I just let the opponent tell me what I need to do
yeah.
because my plan never works out.
So what do you think makes a good instructor?
Well, of course, not the depth of knowledge and skill and the intricacies of what you're trying to convey, but I think it's actually, and it's funny you mention that because we're actually in the process of developing an instructor enhancement or certification course, and it rotates around this very question. But I think it comes down to, besides the depth of knowledge and and technical understanding of what you're trying to teach. The foundation of it's going to be, are you, what is your purpose? In my mind, if you're going to teach, your purpose money's a side benefit of teaching. It should be to make that person better today than they were yesterday. Help them become better. Help them see their improvement. Build them up. I think that's number one. And number two is you've got to be nimble in your mind because you might have to explain something 10 different ways to 10 different people or 5 different ways even to the same person till they get it. So you have to be nimble in mind, analogies, examples. Like for example, when I'm talking to some of my students in the past and I'm like, punch, and they're punching and they're just I'm like, pretend like you're reaching for a piece of bread, but fast. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, when you go to get a piece of bread, you're not going, "Mm." You just reach out and you grab it and you bring it back. Same thing with a punch. Just reach out and bring it back. Just do it real fast. So you have to be nimble in mind and the core of your focus needs to be improving the student in the way they want to be improved till it grows, not in the way you want to. Because I've made this mistake myself. I wanted to fight school because I was a young man and just the way I was. So I wouldn't get impatient or anything, but I'd be like, we fight here. That's not everyone's goal. That's not everyone's purpose. So find out why they're there. You feed that, you cultivate that. And as they build confidence and skill sets, so will their aspirations grow. And you lead them that way.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So where do you see martial arts headed in the future?
A lot more YouTube, a lot more 8-month Wing Chun black belts, different things like that. I mean, I think it's great that they have all these platforms. Let me say this first. I think it's great that they have all these platforms. I really do. Um, I think it's great the amount of information on the internet, streaming, YouTube's a good resource if you have a good divining rod to know what's good water, bad water. But where do I see it going? I think it's going to make a resurgence. It seems like it's dying down. There'll be another movie come out and pop back up. I mean, those are always very helpful. Uh, but I'll be honest, it's not something I really dwell on because I can't control society. I can't control what becomes popular or who does what and how they do it. It's none of my business. For me, it's what am I doing? Am I standing to my moral code? Am I still in line with my purpose and the vision that I want? Am I leaving people and interactions in this world better than when I showed up? That's all I can control.
Yeah. And honestly, that's what it's all about, man. I do want to give a shout out. Jack Barry, Martial Arts Maniac Magazine. He's been super helpful to the podcast. He's a great guy. If you want to check him out, I'll put the link to his website in the description. And another one is International Martial Arts Magazine. It's Alan Woodman's magazine. They put us in it. It's a great magazine. It's digital. It's free. Just get on there and scroll through it.
And I would like to offer, James, to you that if you give me the link, or I'll just do it, the link to your podcast on YouTube, I'll put that as a partner with our associate, with the International Chinese Boxing Association, so people can find you there who may not have heard of you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Once we get off, I'll send you all the links. Send me the links as well so I can put them in the description. And
Absolutely.
if you have anybody that wants to come on, just give them my information.
All right. I'll do that.
I do got one more. So if you have somebody out here that's listening and they want to start Wing Chun, what advice could you give them to find a legitimate school?
Don't pick them just because they're on YouTube. And this is not a statement toward anybody on YouTube because I'm a little bit on YouTube. I got one interview that I did. But there will be more coming on in case on Wing Chun. So there are resources out there. You just got to be patient, go through them. If you don't know what you're looking for, and there's nothing nearby, hopefully I'll put up my email in the links or something if it's okay with James.
Yeah, absolutely.
Email me. Let's start talking because I'm going to start a Yin San series of videos that could help you along if you want. Um, I put them on YouTube as well. But if there's no Wing Chun near you and you desperately want to learn it, books are a good augmentation after you've had some tutelage because there's the in between shots you just can't see. Um, that's a tough one because if it's not nearby you, it's hard to find. And there's not a whole lot of streaming platforms that I can speak to that are good because I haven't looked at any. Other than the little gems I found on YouTube itself, they got some really good information out there. If that's all you have, there's nothing wrong with starting there. I started with magazines when I was a kid before I actually lucked up and ran across driving down the street my seafood, who I have to make mention, not to put a damper on things. He just passed away 2 weeks ago, and his funeral is this coming week. So uh, it's if I look a little somber, I've got some things in my brain, but that's okay.
You're good, man. I definitely understand that. One of our main instructors, he passed away maybe 3 years ago, and yesterday I taught well, I didn't teach. I'm just so used to saying that word. I helped judge a martial arts competition, and I met somebody that's also a member of an organization that I'm a part of. He was like a doppelganger of my old instructor. It was just so weird. His mannerisms, like I mean, it was like seeing a long lost friend. Man, it was
Yeah,
weird. Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah. So, but I'm trying to give your question due diligence. Like I said, YouTube. If you're looking for Wing Chun, YouTube's really good. There are some streaming platforms out there. I'm not personally aware of them, but I know that they're out there. So I would say get what you can where you can. Most importantly, find a partner, find a friend, somebody else who has the interest of learning it, because you need two people to do it well. Even if you've got a dummy or a makeshift, I mean, my first dummy, I was poor. I made it out of PVC pipe and I put it on bungee cord so it'd be live action and beat the crap out of myself. But but do what you can. Uh, you know, there's nothing wrong with studying something else until you can find what it is you truly want or are looking for. Because you never know. You might walk into a gem you didn't even think of.
yeah. I agree with that. I always tell people, man, find a dojo, dojang, gym, whatever it is, train. Like no matter what the style is, train, learn the fundamentals. Like if you and I watched a video on YouTube, there's a very high possibility that we'll understand it and be able to incorporate it. But if you have somebody off the street that doesn't know what they're going to get hurt.
Yeah, and if you're used to, and I'll say could be atypical, but if you've only ever done Korean styles and you haven't went to open tournaments or crossed hands, as we say in Chinese martial arts, or sparred another kung fu style or whatever it might be, don't live in a silo. You do not improve. You only get as like this is probably, I'm gonna get so much hate for this, but don't be the fastest fat kid in the race. Don't be the best guy in your school. Meet other people, make other friends outside of your school's family with other schools, with other styles. Don't be afraid to mingle because we're all here for the same reason.
Absolutely.
We're all wanting to achieve the same things for ourselves. And you may learn something from someone else from a whole different style that can help you. Don't pigeonhole yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. It was amazing. Yesterday when I went to this tournament, we had 3 of our students and they all won their competitions, but it was their first time ever sparring against other people from other styles, and it was amazing to watch.
It's an eye. It's like culture shock, man.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. Like, one benefit, though, is, like, the last, I don't know, 8 months, I've been drilling other stuff that's not just traditional taekwondo down their throats, and it's helped a lot. Like I said, they won all 3 of them won their divisions in sparring, which was really
Dude,
good.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's makes your heart full when you see
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Sure does, man, sure does. I did have another one, but I forgot it. Uh, Patches, if you have a school patch, if you wanna send it to me, I'll send you one of our Dojo Exchange patches back.
Mhm.
Just
That'd be
yeah,
awesome.
just send me.
Actually, I got several that I can send you for the association
Okay.
and, for fun, different.
Awesome. Yeah, just send me your information and I'll send you the patch. You send me your there whatever one. We'll just I'll send you
Yeah,
mine. You send me yours.
absolutely.
Awesome,
Yeah,
man.
I'm all for that. I'm a
Awesome.
patch guy anyway.
Yeah,
Gotta,
same.
I need to put them on the wall.
It's probably the law enforcement thing. Because
Yeah, I know. I keep patches in my glove compartment, so when I get a ticket, I can say thank you. I
dude,
give it to someone.
so like I made challenge coins for the dojo for the dojang. So like
Cool.
whenever I have guest instructors, I give them a challenge coin, but it's something that we used to do in
Yeah,
corrections, and it carried over. I'm like, it's pretty cool. So
we're doing the same. We're going to do the same thing with the ICBA.
nice.
We're going to have like at least 2.5 inches,
Yeah,
maybe 30. I don't want it to be too obscene, but something that you got something.
yeah.
So
All right, man. Send me that information. We'll have to do this again.
hey, anytime, just we'll figure it out. I would love to come back. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Jay.
you're welcome, man. All right.
And yeah, anything you want to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. I'll talk to you.
All right, take it easy.
You too.